guys, Anna and Dave here. We are going to talk about the second part of the Attack on Titan live-action movie. I'm smiling right now, but I don't know why.
Oh, because we got this funky mask, and it's all good.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the movie. All right, so if you guys watched our last Attack on Titan review for part 1, you know we weren't exactly the biggest fans of the movie. Yeah. And I think for many reasons, most of which is that the characters didn't quite feel like the characters in the anime.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to keep it positive, you know, we tried to see what good there was of the movie.
Yes.
You know, and I think really we were holding out for part 2 to see if it would sort of give us a little more of what we were hoping for, what we wanted from the first movie.
Totally.
Now we've seen part 2, and we can tell you what we think of the whole experience.
Now, first off, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. We were asked to not give spoilers, so we will not. Maybe next week we'll talk about it a little more in depth. First off, let's do a recap of the first movie. The problems we had with the first movie were as such. Mikasa. They totally boned her.
They changed one of the great heroes of the story into a complete victim, and it was really upsetting.
Yeah, they kind of took this really strong character and, like you said, put her under the thumb of somebody, made her very kind of weak, even though like she still had ninja skills, and that was pretty hurtful, considering how progressive of a character she is in the anime.
Yeah, Eren was just whiny throughout.
He screams a lot.
And poor Armin was just relegated to being, I don't know, a guy who couldn't even fix a horn.
Yeah. He was sort of second-class citizen to that guy who could lift up a Titan for some reason.
Or that girl that made Eren touch her boob.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to be my baby's daddy? That is said in the movie. Yeah. But that's part 1. One of the few things that we liked about part 1, first off, the Titans were pretty cool. Yeah. I thought some of the special effects were pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you can't hold them to the same standards that you hold Hollywood movies to. You know, you have to look at it from the budgets and effects that they have in Japan.
Yes.
And for that, I gotta say, they did a really good job. Doesn't matter that you kept seeing the exact same 5 Titans over and over again.
Yeah. You know. I did like this guy a lot. The Colossal Titan was really cool. But let's get to part 2. Now, I think that after we saw part 1, our hope was to kind of get a little more from the anime that we were missing. Because there are actually a lot of sections straight from the anime that were in part 1. It was just kind of twisted because the characters felt very different.
Also, you know, I think everyone was sort of hoping that maybe Levi would show up, even though we all knew he wouldn't. But like instead we have this Shikishima character that is just...
Right. Now we have part 2, and I have to say, they went bonkers.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they'd stay a little close to the anime. They actually, from what we've seen in the anime, which of course is only the first season.
Because that's all that exists right now.
Yeah, we have not read the manga, but they kind of went way off script in part 2, which in a way might have actually been better because it kind of didn't piss me off as much as the first one.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that there were some really fun effects. There were some fights and stuff that sort of referenced fights from the anime, but with different characters.
Well, we can talk about the fact there are like Titan fights in this. There's like a really rad Titan fight.
But as you guys know, Annie doesn't exist in this world.
Right.
So it's not going to be a fight versus, you know, Eren Titan versus Annie Titan. You get Eren Titan versus a different Titan. Yeah. And the fight is really reminiscent of the one from the anime, but it's not the same thing because it's a totally different character. And the way they went about it is also very different.
Yeah.
But what that means is that you don't have to look at it the same way. You shouldn't really look at it, I guess, as much of an adaptation of the anime.
I would say that the biggest thing that they kept from the anime, other than the characters' names, was the plot of them trying to seal the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
That was kind of their main goal in this movie. But it really got altered. Now, we're not going to spoil anything, but there's a moment in this where everything sort of shifts, and it sort of felt like, for lack of a better term, like an American YA movie adaptation.
Yeah, like if you've seen things like Maze Runner or Hunger Games or things like that, you know, it has that sort of feeling to it. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, for an Attack on Titan adaptation, it's a bad thing.
Right.
For an entertaining movie, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
But I mean, for us, it's hard to separate ourselves from what we know of the anime and what we love in the anime. And so it's really hard for us to give a perspective on this of, well, if I had never seen the anime or read the manga or anything like that, maybe I'd feel differently. It's like, I don't know how I'd feel if I hadn't seen them.
I think they felt like they wanted to finish the story.
Yes.
Because right now, we're only one season into this big story in the anime, so of course there's no ending. They did the similar stuff with the Death Note movies, kind of change it up so they could make an ending before there was one. But also at the same time, it's confusing the decisions they made.
Yes.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense other than the fact that they're like, we gotta end it. Let's just end it somehow.
They give answers. They answer the questions that they set up. But as an Attack on Titan fan, I found that more frustrating than anything else, and the way that they sort of closed the holes of things. I don't know what direction they're going to go with it in the anime and the manga in the future. I don't know if it's going to be anything like this, if certain similarities are going to be there, or if it'll be completely different.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that as a movie, it just felt frustrating.
Yeah, it did. The stuff that we liked in the first movie is the same stuff we liked in this movie. The Titans were cool. There were some really good, for Japan, special effects. I think that there was some really beautiful shots near the end. I thought some of the action cinematography was cool. It's gory still, like the first one, which we really liked. Yeah. There is a Titan that looks a lot like a Titan favorite that you guys will be excited about. And also on top of that, Hans.
Yes.
Who, of course, Zoe from the anime, Hans, she still saves the day in this movie. She's wonderful.
Every time she comes on screen and does her Hanji kind of thing, like it feels straight out of the anime. She's spot on, and it just makes me really happy. You know, however annoyed I am at the other characters, all of a sudden Hans is on screen like, and it's fantastic.
She's really amazing, but there is quite a bit different from the anime. But I think that's sort of what you would expect after the first one, though I do feel like the first one was much closer than this one. This one felt like they really kind of separated themselves.
I mean, you know, if you're rating the two of them, Part 2 definitely better than Part 1.
Yeah, I think it becomes a little more of a conventional Japanese live-action sci-fi movie in the second one, where the first one they were still trying to hold on to that adaptation. But guys, that's what we think. If you want to go see the Attack on Titan Part 2 End of the World live-action movie, it's actually out right now, October 20th, October 22nd, and October 27th. If you want to go on attackontitanthemovie.com, you can get tickets and see it.
The way I see it, you guys should still be like talking about it on social media. Hashtag AOT movie.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you know, say good things, say bad things, but let people know that there is an interest here in the States to get these movies over here.
We want to thank Funimation for sending us these screeners so we can talk about this. And if you guys want to check it out, let us know in the comments down below what you thought. Go ahead. And also, who is your favorite character from Attack on Titan? Let us know.
Yeah, and if you want to be a Vicer, don't forget to check out the message board and wiki and like, subscribe, whatever he's doing.
Ah!